How did one harmless couch moment with my ex turn into a folder of evidence and an envelope served in my office lobby? What did my husband do so quietly that, by the time I laughed at him in public, the result was already locked in? Can I still call him the villain when the rules suddenly changed in front of witnesses? My name is Dulcie, and people always said I was easy to like. I worked in a marketing office downtown. I knew how to smile, how to talk, how to make a room feel warm. I also knew how to make a story sound clean, even when it was not. That afternoon, I told myself I was only doing something normal. I had invited my ex, Logan Pierce, to the house for a short talk. I said I needed closure. I said I needed a friend who understood me. I said Ethan, my husband, had been distant for months. I said he did not see me anymore. Logan arrived while the sun was low. He brought coffee like it was a sweet thing, like he had a right to walk into my life again. He asked if Ethan was home. I said he was still at work. Logan looked around the living room and said it still looked the same. I told him that was the point. I wanted him to see that I had built a stable life. I led him to the couch, and I sat closer than I needed to. I told myself it was because the couch was small. I told myself it was because I was cold. Logan asked how married life was. I said it was fine. Then I laughed like it was a joke. He asked why I sounded tired. I said work was hard. He asked if Ethan treated me well. I said Ethan was a good man, but I also said Ethan could be strict and heavy. I did not say the word controlling yet. I saved it. I always saved it for when I needed it. Logan leaned back and put his arm along the top of the couch. I could have moved away. I did not. I watched my own hands. I watched his knee near mine. I told myself I deserved to feel wanted. I told myself Ethan had made me lonely first. Then I heard keys at the front door. It was not even loud. It was just the soft metal sound and the little clink into the bowl on the entry table. My stomach went tight. Logan's eyes flicked toward the hallway. I stood up fast, too fast, and I made it worse because it looked like hiding. Ethan walked in with his work bag and his jacket half open. He looked tired. His face was normal for 1 second, and then it changed. He stared at Logan, then at me, then at the couch like it had insulted him. He asked what was going on. I said we were talking. He asked why Logan was here. I said Logan had stopped by. He asked why I did not tell him. I said it was not a big deal. Logan tried to smile. He said it was good to see Ethan again, like they were old friends. Ethan did not return the smile. He asked Logan to leave. Logan acted confused and asked if Ethan was serious. Ethan said he was serious, and he repeated it without raising his voice. Right away, I felt that sharp heat in my chest, the one that comes when someone threatens my control. Ethan was not yelling, but he was drawing a line in my house. In my head, that was still an attack. I told Ethan he was being dramatic. I said Logan was only a guest. I said Ethan was acting like I had done something wrong, and I asked why he always assumed the worst. He asked why Logan was sitting so close. I said Ethan was imagining things. Ethan asked me to step into the kitchen with him. I said no, because I knew the kitchen meant privacy, and privacy meant he could speak calmly and make sense. I needed the moment to stay public, because public moments can be shaped. Public moments can be performed. Logan stood up slowly, like he was trying to look mature. He said he did not want trouble. Ethan said there was no trouble if Logan left right now. Logan looked at me, and I could see he wanted me to defend him. That made me feel powerful, and I hated Ethan for taking that power away. I said Ethan was jealous. I said he always tried to control who I talked to. I said I was allowed to have friends. Ethan asked if I thought Logan was a friend. I said yes, and I said it like Ethan was foolish for asking. Ethan walked to the front door and held it open. He told Logan to go. Logan gave a small laugh and said Ethan needed to relax. Ethan said he was relaxed, and that was why he was asking once. Logan finally stepped outside. Ethan did not slam the door. He closed it softly behind Logan, Like this was paperwork, like this was routine. That calm made me angrier than any shouting would have. I told Ethan he had humiliated me. I said he had made me look bad in front of Logan. Ethan asked why Logan being impressed mattered more than our marriage. I said Ethan was twisting things. I said Ethan always made everything about himself. At that moment, Mia came down the stairs. She was 7, small and quiet. She held the railing and watched us. Her eyes moved between my face and Ethan's face, like she was trying to solve a puzzle that hurt. Ethan's voice changed when he saw her. He asked if she had homework. She said she did. He told her to go back up and finish, and he said it gently. Mia hesitated and then turned around. She went up 2 steps, then stopped and looked back. I wanted to call her and hug her. I did not. I stayed where I was because I did not want to look guilty. Ethan asked me again to talk in the kitchen. I said no again. I said I was not going to be interrogated in my own home. Ethan asked if I knew how it looked. I said, looks do not matter, trust matters, and I said that like I was the brave one. He asked if I wanted to be married. I said yes, but I also said marriage should not feel like a cage. He asked if I would invite Logan again. I said I would not live by Ethan's rules. I could tell Ethan was swallowing words. He blinked slow, like he was choosing what to do with his anger. He told me he would not fight in front of Mia. He said we would talk when I was ready to be honest. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. I said I was already honest. I said Ethan was the one making it ugly. I told him he needed help for his insecurity. I watched his jaw tighten. I waited for him to snap so I could point at it and say, "See? That is who he is." He did not snap. He picked up his work bag and walked to the hallway closet. I heard a small click like a drawer locking. He moved with control, like he had done this before in his mind. Then he came back and stood near the stairs, not blocking me, not touching me, not threatening me. Still, I felt cornered because he was not giving me the reaction I wanted. I grabbed my purse from the chair. I said I was leaving because I needed space. Ethan said space was fine, but Mia's schedule would stay steady. I told him he could not keep Mia from me. Ethan said no one was keeping anyone from anyone, but routines mattered. I went into the kitchen to find my keys, and I saw the wall calendar. There was a new entry on it in Ethan's neat handwriting. It had a place name and a time in the morning, like a meeting. I did not recognize the place. My eyes stuck on it for a second. Ethan stepped behind me and covered the calendar with his hand. Not rough, just firm. He asked me not to touch his things. I felt insulted, like I had been accused. I told him he was hiding something. He said he was organizing his life, and he said it flat. Outside, the air was cold. The porch light made the driveway look sharp and bright. Logan was gone. Ethan stood on the porch, watching, like he was making sure the scene ended clean. I wanted the neighbors to see him as the bad guy. I wanted him to look cruel, but he did not shout. He did not chase me. He just stayed there, calm and still, while I walked to my car with shaking hands and a proud face. I drove to my sister Taryn's apartment like I was the one escaping something. I told myself I was brave. I said Ethan had embarrassed me, and I said I needed support. When I walked in, Taryn looked tired already. She asked what happened. I said Ethan kicked out my friend and treated me like a criminal. She asked why Logan was there. I said it was only a talk. I made my voice soft, like I was wounded. Taryn said Ethan had a point about boundaries. I told her she was repeating old ideas. I said modern marriage needed trust. I said I was not property. I said Ethan acted like he owned my time. Taryn asked if I had crossed a line. I said no, and I said the line itself was unfair. That night, I did not sleep much. I kept checking my phone. I wanted Ethan to text me something emotional, something messy. I wanted proof he was the unstable one. He did not give it to me. He sent one message about Mia's morning routine. He asked what time I planned to pick her up on my day. I answered with a time and added a sad face, like that would pull him back. It did not. In the morning, I went to work with makeup that said, "Fine." I wore a blazer so I could feel sharp. I told myself no one could touch me if I looked together. At my desk, I opened emails and pretended I was not shaking inside. Nina from 2 rows over asked if I was okay. I said I was just tired. She asked if I wanted coffee. I said I already had one. I made my voice bright because bright voices control rooms. At lunch, I texted Kara. Kara always loved a story. She asked what happened at my house. I said Ethan walked in and made a scene. I said he acted jealous and rude. I said he made me feel unsafe in my own home. And I let that word hang there, even though nothing illegal happened. I knew how words worked. Words make pictures in people's heads. Kara told me to come out that night. She said we should get drinks and reset. I agreed fast. I did not want to sit in silence and think about my choices. Silence makes you hear yourself. After work, I went back to Taryn's to change. She asked where I was going. I said I needed one normal night. She said it might be better to stay in. I said she was acting like Ethan. Taryn asked if Mia knew where I was. I said Mia was with her dad and was safe. That was true, and I used it like a shield. At the rooftop bar, the air was cold and the music was loud. The city lights made everything look like a movie. Kara was already there with 2 other friends. They hugged me like I had survived something. Kara asked if Ethan apologized yet. I said no. She asked if he begged. I said he went quiet and tried to punish me with silence. One friend asked if Logan was the same Logan from years ago. I said yes. She asked if he was still handsome. I said that was not the point, but I smiled anyway. Kara asked what Logan did when Ethan came in. I said Logan stayed calm, and Ethan acted crazy. That was not true. Ethan had been calm. I twisted it because calm does not look like a villain. Kara took a photo of us with the skyline behind. She posted it and tagged me. She wrote a caption about women who refuse to be controlled. I liked it. I told myself it was empowerment. It was also a warning to Ethan, and I knew it. Later, someone asked if Ethan was abusive. The question was half joke, half hunger for drama. I said Ethan was not violent, but I also said he used control and rules to keep me small. I watched their faces change. I watched sympathy rise, and I felt relief. In that moment, I still think I was right to protect my image. When I got home to Taryn's, my phone showed a missed call from no caller ID. I stared at it. I told myself it was Ethan trying to scare me. Taryn asked why I looked pale. I said nothing. She asked if Ethan called. I said he was playing games. She told me to stop assuming the worst. I told her she did not understand. The next day at work, Kara's post had spread. Someone in a different department had liked it. Another person had commented a laughing emoji. I felt proud and nervous at the same time. At my desk, my manager, Denise, sent me a message and asked if I could step into the small meeting room after lunch. I walked into that room with my shoulders up. Denise asked if everything was okay at home. I said yes, mostly. She asked about the public posts. I said my friends were supporting me. She said the office did not want personal conflict online tied to staff names. I said I understood. I acted calm, but my skin felt hot. I hated that Ethan's name could become a work issue, and I blamed him for that, even though I had fueled it. After the meeting, Nina asked what Denise wanted. I said it was nothing. Nina looked at me like she did not believe me. I told myself she was jealous. It was easier than admitting I was losing control. That evening, I went to the supermarket. I stood at the checkout line with a basket of small things I did not need. I wanted to feel normal. While I waited, I saw Ruth Armitage, Ethan's mother, 2 lanes over. She looked at me like she had been expecting me. Her face was calm and firm. She came closer and asked where Mia was. I said Mia was with Ethan. Ruth asked if I was staying at Taryn's. I said yes, because Ethan made the house hostile. Ruth said the house was not hostile. She said my choices were. I laughed like she was being dramatic. Ruth asked if Logan had been in my home. I said yes, because I could have friends. Ruth said I was acting proud of something ugly. I told her Ethan was punishing me. Ruth said Ethan was protecting Mia from chaos. I felt my throat tighten. I wanted to shout, but I did not. I kept my voice smooth and said Ruth was biased because she was his mother. Ruth said she was biased towards stability. Then she told me she would not fight with me in public, and she walked away. I went back to my car and sat with the grocery bags on the seat. I checked my phone again. Ethan had not messaged me except for a note about Mia's bedtime. He wrote it like a schedule, not like a husband. I told myself he was being cruel. I told myself he wanted to break me. I did not tell myself the other option, which was that he had stopped begging. When I returned to Taryn's, I heard a low humming sound in my head, like a warning. Taryn asked how the store went. I said Ruth attacked me. Taryn asked what I said to Ruth. I said the truth. Taryn looked away and asked if I could please stop turning everything into a battle. I told her she was not on my side. That night, I scrolled through Kara's comments again. I watched strangers agree with me. I watched them call Ethan names I did not correct. I felt strong for a moment. Then I saw another no caller ID missed call. I stared at it longer this time, and my stomach went tight again, like the calm was building into something I could not stop. The next week felt like a stage I could not leave. I kept telling myself that if I spoke first and loudest, I would win. I told myself Ethan had started it by embarrassing me. I told myself I was only defending my dignity. Work did not feel safe anymore, not because anyone attacked me, but because people watched. I noticed small pauses when I walked past desks. I noticed phones face down too fast. I told myself they were jealous. I told myself they admired me and feared me at the same time. Denise asked me to come back to the small meeting room again. She said it was about online stuff. I said I understood the policy. She asked if the situation at home could spill into the office. I said no. She asked me to keep my posts away from co-worker names and client names. I said I would. She asked if I needed time off. I said I was fine. She also asked if there was any legal issue or safety concern. I said Ethan was not violent. I said he was controlling, in a quiet way. I watched Denise's face, and I could see she did not know what to do with that. Denise said she was sorry I felt stressed. She said the company just needed stability and privacy. I nodded like a professional. Inside, I felt insulted. I wanted Denise to pick a side. When I walked out, Nina followed me for a moment. She asked if I was okay. I said yes, and then I added that Ethan was trying to ruin me. Nina asked how. I said he used silence and rules as punishment. Nina said she hoped it got better. Her voice was gentle, and that annoyed me more than judgment would have. Gentle voices make you feel wrong. That evening, Logan texted me. He asked if I could meet him at the gym lobby. He said he wanted to talk. I said yes right away. I told myself it was a normal friendship. I did not tell myself why I felt excited. At the gym, the lobby smelled like rubber mats and strong soap. Logan came out in a hoodie with his hair still wet. He asked how things were going. I said Ethan was being cold and unfair. Logan asked if Ethan had called me names. I said no, but I said he acted like I was guilty. Logan said Ethan sounded weak. He said weak men try to control women because they cannot compete. I liked the way Logan said that. It made me feel important. It made me feel like my life was a contest, and I was the prize. Logan asked why I stayed married if Ethan made me feel small. I said divorce was dramatic. I said I only needed Ethan to stop acting like a guard. Logan asked if I still loved Ethan. I said love changes. I said people grow. I said Ethan had stopped trying. I made it sound like Ethan had forced my hand. Logan asked if I could come to his place later. I said I had to think about Mia. Logan said Mia would be fine with her dad for one evening. I told myself that was true. I told myself I was still a good mother because Mia was safe. When I left the gym, my phone buzzed with another no caller ID missed call. I stared at it while I walked to my car. I told myself it was Ethan again. I told myself he was trying to make me nervous. I did not want to admit it made me nervous. The next day, I met Ethan at the Riverside Promenade. I told him I wanted to talk like adults. I picked a place with people around because I liked witnesses. Witnesses protect you, even if nothing bad is happening. Witnesses also make a man look guilty if he gets upset. Ethan arrived on time. He did not look wild. He looked tired and neat, like someone who had decided to sleep less and plan more. He asked how I was. I said I was fine. He asked if I was still staying at Taryn's. I said yes, because the house felt tense. Ethan said the house was calm, and he said the tension was coming from choices, not walls. He asked me to be clear about Logan. He said he needed a yes or no. He asked if I was seeing Logan in a romantic way. I laughed and told him he was obsessed. I said Logan was a friend and Ethan was insecure. Ethan said insecurity was not the issue. He said trust and boundaries were the issue. I told him boundaries were another word for control. I said he did not get to decide who I spoke to. Ethan asked if I would be okay if he sat on a couch with an ex in our home. I said that was different. Ethan asked how. I said because he would do it to hurt me, and I was not doing that. Even as I said it, I knew it was a weak answer, but I said it anyway, because I needed to win. Ethan asked what I wanted. He asked if I wanted to keep the marriage. I said yes, but I said I wanted freedom inside it. I said I wanted him to stop questioning me. I said if he trusted me, he would not need rules. Ethan said trust did not mean no rules. He said trust meant honesty first. I told him he was making Mia suffer with his cold attitude. Ethan said Mia was suffering because she felt confusion, and confusion came from mixed messages. He said he was trying to keep her days simple. He said he would not argue in front of her, and he would not pull her between houses like a rope. A couple walked past with a stroller. A jogger ran by. People lived their normal lives around us. I wanted Ethan to crack and look like the bad guy. He did not. I stepped closer and asked if he had been telling people lies about me. Ethan said he had not been talking about me at all. He said he had been talking about Mia's schedule and the household needs. I told him that was a lie, because it felt better if it was a lie. Then I saw his car in the nearby parking area. It was parked facing the street, not into the spot like most cars. It looked ready to leave fast. That small detail made me angry, because it felt like planning. It felt like he had already decided what I was. I reached toward his phone on the bench like it was a joke. I said I wanted to see if he had been texting his mother about me. Ethan moved the phone away without drama. He said my jokes were not funny anymore. I heard a soft beep at that exact moment, like a recording stopping. Ethan's thumb slid over the screen. He put the phone in his pocket. I asked what that beep was. He said it was nothing. He said he had a timer for a meeting reminder. He looked at me for 1 second, and his eyes were flat, like a closed door. I told him he was being sneaky. I said he was collecting things to use against me. Ethan did not deny it the way I wanted. He just said he wanted peace, and he wanted everything done the right way. He said he would not scream and beg. He said he would not make threats. He said he would make careful choices. I tried to laugh. I said he was acting like some lawyer in a movie. Ethan said he was acting like a father. He stood up and asked if I wanted to talk about Mia's school week. I told him I did not want to be managed. Ethan said no one was managing me. He said he was managing the situation because I refused to. When he walked away, he did not look back. I stood by the river and told myself he was heartless. I told myself his calm was cruelty. But my hands were shaking again, and I kept hearing that small beep in my head, like a warning I could not turn off. I told myself I needed a public moment. I said Ethan had to see what he was doing to me. I said he had to feel the shame he gave me when he made Logan leave. In my mind, public pressure was the only language Ethan understood. The community hall had a weekend fundraiser. It was the kind with folding chairs, a sign-in table, and a loudspeaker that squealed sometimes. Cara loved these events because there were photos and names and small local status. She told me to come. She said I should not hide. I agreed because hiding would make me look guilty. I arrived with Cara and 2 friends. I wore a clean dress and a bright smile. I wanted people to look at me and think I was strong. Cara asked if I wanted to say something to the group. I said yes. I told myself it was not gossip. I said it was my truth. Near the snack table, Cara started talking about men who cannot handle confident women. She did not say Ethan's name at first. Then someone asked where my husband was. I said he was being cold and punishing. I said he threw out my friend like I was a child. I said it like I was the reasonable one and Ethan was the problem. A woman I barely knew asked if Ethan yelled at me. I said he did not yell, but I said that made it worse, because quiet control is harder to prove. People nodded like that made sense. I felt relief in my chest. It felt like safety. Then I saw Ethan at the entrance. He did not come to join the event. He came to pick up Mia from the kids' corner because it was his time with her. He walked in with a calm face, like he had no interest in my audience. He nodded at the volunteer coordinator and asked where Mia was. He kept his voice low. That annoyed me. I wanted him loud. Cara noticed him too. She leaned toward me and said we should not let him act like the hero. She raised her phone slightly, not fully obvious, but enough that I saw the screen glow. She asked if I could repeat what I said about control. Just so people understand. I agreed because I liked the idea of proof, even if it was twisted proof. I spoke louder. I said Ethan acted like I needed permission to have friends. I said he shamed me in my own home. I said he made me feel small. I did not say I chose to sit too close to Logan. I did not say I refused a private talk. I said only the parts that made Ethan look bad. A few heads turned toward Ethan. Someone whispered his name. Ethan did not react. He did not look at me. He did not rush over. He walked to the kids' corner, crouched slightly, and spoke to Mia. I could not hear the words, but I saw Mia nod and pick up her small backpack. Ethan took her hand and started walking out. A man near the door tried to stop him and asked if everything was okay. Ethan said it was okay and that he was only picking up his daughter. The man asked why I looked upset. Ethan said he was not here to discuss private things. He said he hoped everyone had a good event. Then he left. The room felt awkward for 1 second, like my story had hit a wall. Cara covered it fast. She made a joke about men who run away from feelings. People laughed because laughter is easy. I laughed too, but my face felt stiff. Ethan's calm had made me look like the loud one. After the event, I went to the school pickup line on a different day because I wanted Mia to see me. I told myself Mia needed me. I told myself Ethan was trying to replace me with routine. I stood by my car and watched parents chat. I tried to look normal. When Mia walked out, she ran to me, but slower than usual. She hugged me and held on longer. In the car, she stared out the window for a while. Then she asked why Daddy slept in the guest room now. She asked why Mommy stayed at Aunt Taryn's. She asked if we were still a family. I told her Daddy was being stubborn. I said Daddy got upset over small things. I said adults sometimes need space, but that I loved her. Mia asked if I loved Daddy. I said yes, but I said love should not come with rules. Mia said she did not like rules either, but she liked when dinner happened at the same time. Her words hit me harder than I expected. I told myself she was only repeating Ethan. I told myself Ethan had coached her. It was easier than admitting Mia could see the mess on her own. That weekend, there was a family dinner at a restaurant with a long table. Sharon, my mother, insisted we should clear the air. She wanted a stage too. Ethan's parents came. Taryn came because she felt trapped between us. My dad, Jeff, came and looked like he wished he could vanish into the menu. The restaurant was bright and noisy. Plates clinked. People around us laughed at other tables. I sat straight and tried to look like the injured party. Ethan arrived with Mia. He helped her into the booth and asked what she wanted to eat. He did not touch me. He did not glare. He acted like the room was only about the child. Sharon started first. She said Ethan had no right to embarrass me in my own home. She said a husband should trust his wife. Ethan asked what Sharon meant by embarrassed. Sharon said he kicked out my friend and treated me like I was unfaithful. Ethan looked at me and asked if that was the story I was sharing. I said yes. I said he acted jealous and controlling. I said he did not respect me. Ruth, Ethan's mother, put her napkin down carefully. She asked me if I respected Ethan. I said respect goes both ways. Ruth asked if bringing an ex to the couch was respectful. I said Logan was only a friend. Ruth asked if I would be comfortable with Ethan doing the same. I said Ethan would do it to hurt me, and I was not hurting anyone. Glenn, Ethan's father, told Sharon this was not a courtroom. Sharon said it did not need to be, because Ethan was obviously wrong. Jeff finally spoke and asked me quietly if I understood how it looked. I told him looks were not facts. Jeff nodded like he had given up. Taryn asked me to lower my voice. I told her she should support me. Taryn said she supported me being honest. I said I was honest. My voice kept rising because I could feel the room slipping away from me. Ethan did not raise his voice once. He asked me indirect questions in a steady tone. He asked if I planned to keep seeing Logan. I said he could not control my friends. He asked if I planned to stop posting about him. I said I could share my feelings. Ethan said feelings were not the problem, actions were. When Ethan stood to take Mia to the restroom, I saw his car keys on the table. I also noticed, when he came back, that he placed his phone face down, like he did not want screens seen. That small thing made me angry. I wanted him open and messy. I wanted him to beg, not to organize. Outside the restaurant, the night air was sharp. Sharon hugged me and said I should not let Ethan win. Ruth hugged Ethan and told him to stay calm. Glenn told Ethan to handle things properly and protect Mia from drama. Ethan nodded once. On the drive back, Mia was quiet again. She asked if we could all eat together next week, like before. I said we would see. I told myself I still had time to fix it. But my stomach felt heavy, and I hated that Ethan looked steady while I felt like a balloon losing air. I stayed at Taryn's longer than I planned. At first, I told myself it was temporary. I said it was only until Ethan cooled down. After a while, I started saying the apartment was my safe place, like I was hiding from danger instead of consequences. Taryn stopped asking gentle questions. She asked hard ones now. She asked if I was still seeing Logan. I said I was allowed to talk to anyone. She asked if I understood what I was doing to Mia. I said Mia was resilient and kids forget. Taryn said kids do not forget, they just get quiet. I told her she was being dramatic. One night I sat on Taryn's couch and scrolled my phone like it was a job. Kara kept sending me ideas for posts. She said people loved my story. She asked if I could do a short video about control and jealousy. I told her I would think about it. I wanted the attention, but I also felt tired. The tired feeling made me angry, so I blamed Ethan for it. Logan kept texting too. He asked why I was still stuck in married drama. He said I deserved fun. He asked if I could come over after Mia's bedtime. I told him my life was complicated. Logan said Ethan was making it complicated, not me. I liked hearing that, so I stopped pushing back. The next morning, Taryn left early for work. I stayed behind and watched the sunlight crawl across her kitchen tiles. There was a sticky note on her counter that said to bring forms for something, and it made my stomach tighten for no reason. I told myself it was her life, not mine. Still, I stared at the note longer than I needed to. I drove to the house because I wanted to prove I could. I told myself the house was also mine. I said Ethan could not keep me out emotionally, even if he tried to keep me out with silence. When I walked in, the air felt different. The house was clean, in a way that felt planned. The counters were clear. The living room pillows were lined up like a display. There were 2 mugs on the counter, not touching. It looked like someone had split the space into zones. Ethan was in the kitchen. He did not jump when he saw me. He asked why I came. I said I wanted to talk. He asked if Mia was with me. I said she was at school. He nodded like he had expected that. I tried to step closer, but Ethan stayed near the sink, keeping a few steps between us. He asked if I wanted to talk about logistics or feelings. I said both. He asked me to start with logistics. That annoyed me. I wanted him messy. I wanted him to say he missed me. I told him he was being cold. I said he was punishing me because he could not handle a strong woman. Ethan said he was not punishing me. He said he was making the day stable for Mia. He asked again if I was still seeing Logan. I laughed like the question was silly. I said Ethan was obsessed with Logan because Ethan felt weak next to him. I watched Ethan's eyes narrow slightly, and I felt a small win, like I had found a button. Ethan asked if I understood what I was risking. I said I was risking nothing, because I did nothing wrong. I said sitting on a couch was not a crime. Ethan said it was not about crime. It was about trust, respect, and the home. I told him the home was not a museum, and I could invite friends. Ethan asked why I picked that friend, that day, when he was not home. I said it was timing. I said he was paranoid. I wanted to bait him into anger. I asked if he had been talking to his mother about me. He said he did not discuss private marriage issues with people who would fuel it. I told him that was a lie, because I needed it to be a lie. Ethan said I could believe whatever I wanted, but he would not argue about my beliefs anymore. He picked up his phone, and a quiet alarm went off with a label I could not see. He turned it off fast. I asked what the alarm was. He said it was a reminder. I said it sounded like something official. Ethan said it was just a reminder to drop off paperwork for work. He kept his voice flat. Flat voices make you feel like your tricks are childish. From the hallway, I heard a printer start up. It whirred, then stopped. A blank sheet slid out into the tray, like the machine had coughed. Ethan did not move. He did not rush to it. That made it feel even worse, like he had already done what he needed, and the printer was only habit. I asked why he was printing things. He said he was organizing. He said the house needed order, and Mia needed order. He said finances needed order too. I asked if he was hiding money. Ethan said he was protecting money from chaos. I told him he was acting like I was dangerous. Ethan said he did not want to treat me like an enemy, but he would not pretend nothing happened. I tried another approach. I softened my voice. I said I missed our old life. I said we could reset if he stopped controlling me. I said I only needed trust. Ethan asked what trust looked like to me. I said it looked like no questions. Ethan said trust without questions was not trust, it was blindness. I stepped toward him and told him he was breaking the family over a couch moment. Ethan said it was not one moment. He said it was a pattern of disrespect, public humiliation, and refusal to be honest. I asked him how he could say that when he had no proof. Ethan did not answer the way I wanted. He just looked at me, calm, like the proof did not need my approval. I felt panic then. Panic makes me mean. I told him he was boring and rigid. I said he cared more about rules than love. Ethan asked if love meant I could do whatever I wanted. I said love meant he should accept me. Ethan said acceptance did not mean surrender. I reached for my phone, ready to film. I wanted a clip of him reacting. I wanted a moment I could show Kara. Ethan saw the movement and stepped back. He asked me not to record him. He said he would not perform for social media. He said if I wanted to talk, we could talk, but if I wanted content, I should leave. I told him he was threatening me. Ethan said he was setting a boundary. He asked me to stop spinning words. He said he would not shout. He said he would not block me from the door. He said he would not touch me. He said he would also not let me turn the kitchen into a stage. Outside, a car passed. The sound of tires on the street made the room feel small. Ethan looked at the clock and then at me. He said it was late. He said he wanted the evening calm before Mia came home. He asked me to leave for the night. I asked if he was kicking me out again. Ethan said he was asking for space and safety for the child's routine. He said if I refused, he would call a neutral person to keep things calm because he did not want accusations. That word, accusations, landed hard. It sounded like he was already thinking ahead. I grabbed my purse, angry and shaky. I told him he was heartless. Ethan said he was done having the same fight. He said he would handle things properly from now on. He walked with me to the driveway, not close, not touching, just present. The gate light made his face look pale and steady. I wanted him to look guilty. He looked prepared. 2 days later, I walked into my office tower like nothing could touch me. I wore my best coat. I wore the face that said I was fine. I told myself Ethan would cool down. I told myself his properly line was only drama. At my desk, Nina asked if I had a good morning. I said yes. Denise waved me into the open plan aisle and asked if I could send a client deck by noon. I said I would. I tried to sink into normal work sounds, keyboards and printers and small laughs. Around 10, my phone buzzed with another no caller ID missed call. I stared at it and told myself it was Ethan again. I told myself he was trying to scare me. Then I saw a man in a plain jacket near the lobby doors, holding a clipboard, looking around like he was waiting for a delivery. I went down to grab coffee because I did not want to look nervous. The lobby smelled like polished stone and winter air. A security guard stood by the desk, bored. The man with the clipboard stepped toward me and asked if I was Dulcie Armitage. I said yes. He asked if I could confirm my address. I said I did not need to. He said he only needed to confirm identity, and he held out an envelope. I asked what it was. He said he was serving legal documents. I felt the blood rush out of my face. The guard looked up. 2 people from another company glanced over. Nina had followed me down for coffee and froze behind me. I took the envelope because refusing it would not change anything. My hands shook, and I hated that people could see it. The man said my name again and asked me to sign. I signed with a stiff hand. He thanked me and walked away like I was a mailbox. Nina asked if I was okay. I said it was nothing. The word nothing sounded stupid in that lobby. I walked to a bench near the windows and opened the envelope. The pages were neat, not emotional. They had dates and headings and lines that did not care about my feelings. I saw the words about a divorce filing. I saw requests for temporary orders. My throat went dry. The temporary terms hit me one by one, like steps I could not climb back up. There was a custody schedule laid out with days and times, starting immediately. There were pick-up and drop-off instructions that sounded like a train timetable. There was a rule about communication being limited to the child's needs. There was a no-disparagement rule about social media, written in plain language, like it had been made for my posts. Then I saw the line that said Ethan and Mia would have exclusive use of the marital home for now, with me removed from that space unless agreed in writing. I stared at it until the letters blurred. I had told myself it was my house too. Now it was a place I could not walk into just because I wanted to. I flipped pages faster, hoping to find something I could fight with a clever sentence. Instead, I found a list of incidents spelled out with clean dates. The couch night was there. The public tagging was there. The community hall clip was mentioned like a fact, not a rumor. Even the missed school night stability was framed as a pattern. I told myself he was exaggerating. I told myself he was twisting things. But the timeline was too straight. It did not read like anger. It read like preparation. Denise called my phone. She asked where I was. I said I was in the lobby. She asked if I needed to go home. I said no, and then my voice cracked. She told me to take the HR room for privacy. I said I did not need privacy, but I walked there anyway because my legs felt weak. In that small room, I called Ethan. He answered on the second ring. I asked what he was doing. He said he was doing what he said he would do. I asked why he had to serve me at work. He said service rules were not about feelings, and that my work address was on record. I said he wanted to shame me. He said he wanted stability for Mia. I told him he was acting like I was dangerous. He said he was acting like our child needed calm. I told him this was over a couch. He said it was over choices and lies and public humiliation. I asked if he was proud. He said pride was not the goal. He said a plan was the goal. I grabbed my coat and went outside into the cold, still holding the papers like they were burning. I walked toward the courthouse plaza without thinking, like walking fast could erase ink. Inside the public lobby, people moved around me with folders and quiet faces. I felt small, and I hated it. Across the lobby, I saw Ethan standing near a pillar. He was not alone. Ruth stood beside him, hands folded. Mia was there with her backpack hanging from one shoulder. Ethan held a paper in his hand and did not wave it. He did not smile. He looked at me once, then down at Mia, and he adjusted her strap like it was the only thing that mattered. Mia looked at me, then at him, and she stayed close to his leg. Ethan asked if I had read the schedule. I said I had. He said the first exchange was already set for tonight, and he said the time. I opened my mouth to argue, but there was nothing to argue with, because the time was printed and real, and the lobby was full of witnesses.